right, so we're going to talk about interlock, interlock method right now. So you can see I've been weaving this green and this purple together, and in the place where they're meeting, I'm starting to develop a slit. Slits can be a great design element, and the tapestry will be fine. If I left a vertical slit all the way through here, it would read like two different pieces linked together at the top and bottom, and it can be really lovely. But let's say for the moment you don't want that. Here's a good way to get rid of the slit. So I'm going to bring my purple in and bring my green in and change sheds. Okay, now when I'm getting ready to go back, I want to take these threads and wind them around each other. The smoothest way to do it is if you take the color that's going to go over the raised warp thread. So this is the raised warp thread that you're going to turn around. If that color goes underneath the other one, so in this case the purple under the green, it gives you the most control and makes the smoothest line between the two. And then when I pull them across, I can pull that toward the purple or toward the green. So let me show you. If I pull that way, the green ends up a little bit more over there. But if I use my fingers and get the purple and the green right where I want them, I have a better chance of having that edge still look pretty smooth. And then going across again, I just do the same thing. And it's always, the biggest thing about which color goes under the other color is to always do it the same way. So since I started with the purple going under the green, I'm going to have the purple going under the green again. If you're familiar with Navajo rugs, and actually some other forms of rugs do this too, where you get a sawtoothed edge on some of the geometric shapes, that's because they've been using interlock. And you'll be able to see as I start moving these along that we develop a little tiny bit of a sawtoothed edge between these two colors. There we go. And so you can see it right there, that it's green dominant, purple dominant, green dominant. And it'll do that a little bit when you use this kind of interlock. It really isn't very noticeable at all. The other alternative, if you prefer not to have that sawtooth, is to sew the slit, and I will show that in a different video. There are other types of joins that you can use besides this one. This is the most basic interlock. And the other thing I would say about this is, unless you are running up a straight vertical line between two color fields, you do not need to do this. You don't need to interlock threads. So for example, if I move the purple over here and the green over here, when I turn around, there's going to be a little tiny slit right at this spot where the purple and the green meet. And that's just a function of this technique, which is called meet and separate. See, there's a little tiny gap right between those where the two turn around. As long as that spot where the turnaround is moves and doesn't travel up the same place, you don't need to do an interlock. You can, you're welcome to, but it's not necessary. Those little tiny mini slits between one color and another never will show unless you're stacking them all up right on top of each other. I'm going to interlock one more time on the next pass so that you can see that. So I bring the two together, make my hills, bubble, beat, and now whichever color is going to cover the raised warp thread goes underneath. So let's say I want my green to cover the raised warp thread, it goes underneath the purple. And that does tend to make for a very, I think, for a very smooth join. It also makes for a very smooth join if you kind of massage that little lump where they meet onto the back. But the biggest thing that will matter is that you do it the same way on each pass. So if I had taken the purple over the top instead of the green, I should do that again this time. But I didn't. I took the green over. So again, the green is going to go underneath the purple. Going to go through there. I'm going to take that little join where they meet, roll it to the back, pull the purple through, and there you get a nice smooth interlock join.